Hey guys, welcome back to Window Shop with us. Today we have a special guest. We have Matt Farah from the Smoking Tire. He's going to be helping us pick our best track cars. This is actually a completely self-indulgent episode. I have been shopping for a car that I could start taking out to the track. And so the team has decided to help me out to try and find something. Not sure if I'm going to be ready to pull the trigger, but I am really interested to see what everybody has come up with. The other thing is, this was the week that we were supposed to be out doing our lightning lap testing, but because of coronavirus and all of the stay-at-home orders, we're not out in Virginia driving fast. So this is just a little bit of a way for us to kind of fantasize about being on the track this week. So let's start with Tony Quiroga. Tony.
All right. My first choice, let's see here, is a C6 Corvette. So Sharon, 400 horsepower, stability control, all the modern safety stuff of a 15-year-old car.
Yeah.
Chrome wheels.
But super quick, you won't get bored with this. Not a lot of pictures, unfortunately. I mean, it says it has, 20 some pictures, but they're all of this horrible graphic. I think they need to hire an art designer.
Tony, that car's being sold by a guy who cannot even take a second picture. Doesn't have his finger on the lens.
Well, nobody's perfect. I'm actually on Auto Trader, and then I went to his own website hoping he'd have more photos, but he did not. The headlights are faded, but cosmetically not a perfect car, but we are under budget here. It's $1,000 under budget, which will give you some budget for tires, which you'll probably need. So if you go to the tire rack and get some performance tires,
right,
you'd be a happy camper in this. And it's pretty safe. It's going to be quick enough so that when you do get some skills, you're going to be entertained and have fun. And of course, it's a manual transmission too.
Is this a Florida car? This is definitely a Florida car.
Yeah, it looks like it's never been in a garage in a day in its life either.
A Central Florida car.
Yeah.
The worst kind of Florida car.
So that's 400 horsepower, 14 grand, and it's a C. I like the C6 a bit better than the C5. I mean, there are C5s you can get for this price, but I don't know. I kind of just like the C6 a little bit better. My next choice is a little more serious. I found this E36 race car. It's 13.5. It's a track car. The guy was using it as a track car. So it's under budget. So again, we have some budget left over for repairs and tires. It has almost 200,000 miles on the engine. So, it's got a few miles. But unlike some of the track cars that I looked at, it has a passenger seat. So you can take an instructor with you, which is kind of
nice.
Cool. And you can just drive it to the track.
Yeah, exactly. And it's super clean. The listing is so detailed. Like the guy clearly loves the car and is taking really good care of it. He's clearly an enthusiast. He knows the car inside and out. The listing just goes on and on and on. The level of detail is ridiculous. It's got a lot of cool extras, like a short shifter. It's got the suspension. It's all been gone through.
The TC Klein suspension that I saw in there?
Yeah.
That's
the TC Klein suspension. And these cars handle really, really well. This would be a lot of fun for not a lot of money. And, parts are readily available. And here, so it's got a seat if you want to take an instructor with you, which is important when you're learning.
Yeah,
if you can find an instructor that's willing to get in the car with you.
I found this exact car.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I was going to say, Tony, good luck getting any instructor to sit in that janky red seat.
It's not a Kirky. I looked at one that had a Kirky race seat, which I thought might be even less safe than this. But yeah, a brave enough instructor will go out and see there it is.
Like
Corvo.
Yeah, I was gonna say that those bolstered has Corvo written all over them.
So that's my second choice, which I think I would seriously consider this one. I think you could have a lot of fun in this car and learn a lot. It's got a roll cage. It's all set up for going to the track, so you can go to the track. And Michigan is really easy because you can basically register any car. Like you just show up to the Secretary of State, which is the DMV in Michigan, and you can just be like, yeah, I need a plate for this 1997 M3, and they'll give you a plate. No smog, none of that. No inspection.
Right.
So my last choice is sort of a wild card. Now the handling's not going to be great, so you're going to be challenged the whole time. So it's this 2000 F-150 Lightning.
All right. Yeah.
So the 2000 and the 99 have 360 horsepower. So you're down 20 horsepower on the later ones, but still it's 360 horsepower, supercharged V8. You know, you're going to learn to maintain brakes in this car. You're going to have to learn to maintain tires. You're going to have to, you know, learn to take it easy on the straights. But you could have a lot of fun in this. And
it will teach throttle control.
Definitely teach throttle control. It'll teach you all about the imbalance. It'll teach you about high center of gravity.
I like how they use the Mustang wheel.
Yeah, it's an SVT product. Yeah.
Yeah, they took off the ugly 2-spoke F-150 wheel, and it's got the Mustang wheel.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
And
That's right. I didn't notice that.
And that bolstered bench.
Yeah, you can bring 2 instructors with you.
That's accurate. Yes, it is an automatic. I was trying to pick all manuals, but this never came in a manual. So, you know,
Okay.
so this is my last choice. And then I thought maybe if you wanted to get into school bus racing, Sharon, you could try out the old Bayou Schoolie that we looked at the other day.
Oh, yes.
This would still be a challenge on the track. You'd have a lot of fun, and it's got a lot of speed. And I think the as Matt points out, the bench seat probably would not be ideal.
It'd be great.
No.
Has anyone manual swapped? How hard could it be to manual swap a Lightning? That couldn't be hard.
I don't know. I mean, they made
That's got to be super. Yeah, it's got to be super basic. That couldn't be hard at all.
I don't think, but
you've got some room in the budget too. It's only $12,000.
Yeah.
All right. So those are my choices, Sharon.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question though about the BMW.
Sure.
Because I like this. I'm very hesitant though to buy cars where someone has done like a ton of work themselves. Maybe it's just me, but like I know when I do work, like even on my house, it's janky. Like everything I do is kind of janky. I worry about that with a car. Like if it's all, you know, clearly somebody's done a ton of work on this, and this is clearly like structural work with roll.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to have it inspected, but I mean, he's been taking it to a track. This one's down in Atlanta. He might have even been taking it to Road Atlanta. He's been taking it to a track quite a bit, and you know, he hasn't died. So I think that's the bar.
Yes, it died.
The other thing I'd say is working on cars is a lot of nuts and bolts. It's like, did you tighten the fastener enough? You know, yes or no. That's it's a little less free form than like working with wood and drywall and that kind of stuff.
Right.
I mean, a lot of track days have tech inspections too, so they're not going to let you go out in anything too unsafe.
And they check to make sure like the battery is secure though.
Yeah.
and you took stuff
it's not. Yeah, they're not looking at roll cage welds.
I would say every used race car needs $5,000 of something.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's been
Yeah.
they're all ridden hard and put away wet.
Yeah, yeah. There's going to be something in that car that the seller was comfortable with it being worn well past its limits that you will not be.
Yeah, there's something about the clutch pedal. There's actually something about the clutch pedal that it doesn't bother on the track. Yeah, that's accurate, Matt. That's accurate.
Yeah. Needs clutch fluid is like the same as like AC needs a charge.
Right.
Wait, does it say it needs clutch fluid?
No. He said there's a spring on the clutch pedal that I believe many people remove altogether that catches a little bit. Hard to describe, but something I never noticed on the track. So, you know, to Matt's point, there's going to be something that doesn't bother this guy that probably doesn't make the car perfect, but it's a track car. So.
Does the AC blow cold?
I mean, that car as it is not too far from being like an AER or Champ Car race car. You know what I mean? That car is like a real cage and a fuel cell away from being what could be a pretty competitive and fast endurance race car. So if you wanted a race car, it's not a terrible place to start.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun. And I mean, it only has a roll bar, so you'd have to add the cage, as Matt points out, to the front of it.
So then why are the doors gutted?
Wait, bro.
Lightness.
Aluminum so much lighter than plastic.
Bro, plastic and cloth is so heavy. You got to get rid of that.
Funny story, which this can totally be edited out, but we had a Mosler at VIR one year, and instead of lock cylinders in the door, there was a little piece of carbon fiber trim that was behind it. And I can't remember who it was that was standing there that looked at me and goes, "Carbon fiber is lighter than air, bro." It killed me then. I still laugh about it.
All right, so those are my cars for you, Sharon.
All right, thanks, Tony. Actually, I'm really intrigued by that BMW. All right.
The BMW is pretty great, yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. Matt, your turn. Putting you on the spotlight.
All right. I'm gonna bail on my most boring choice. I had 4, but I'm gonna bail on the boring one right now. So we're gonna start as an automotive journalist or even an editor of automotive journalists. It is practically a rite of passage to own a Fiesta ST. I owned one for 2 years. I upgraded to the Focus RS when that came out, which was a huge mistake. The Fiesta ST is the much better car, and almost anyone who's had one and sold it misses it.
Really?
Yes, and to find a stock one, relatively low miles for good money, you can take these things to racetracks, and they are great fun. You don't really have to do anything to them aside from brake pads and brake fluid, but you can do a few things like. For another like $3,000, this thing will do 250 wheel horsepower and just be a missile. Ours, when I had one, we had like the Cobb Stage 3 package, and we used it as a camera car. We mounted cameras all over it, and we were filming a show about like huge power tuner cars, and none of them would get away from the Fiesta ST in the canyons, and they were all embarrassed by it on a practically ritualistic basis.
Matt, did you ever track your Fiesta ST?
Yes, we did. It was really fast. I mean, I think I ran a 209 at Button Willow with it, which was, I mean, for a little hatchback was really quick, I think. And it was really good at Adams Motorsports Park, the autocross they do. It was really quick at that too. It would lift a wheel in corners. It was super, super fun.
It's probably pretty kind on tires and brakes too.
Yeah. I mean, that stuff, it doesn't cost anything. You know, their little 205 17, Pilot Sport 4S's make this thing corner like a sport bike. You know, it's crazy. So I can't recommend one of these enough. If you haven't owned one, you really should.
So why was this better than the RS? Mostly ride quality?
The ride quality and the weight just made such a difference. You know, the RS was so much heavier that it then had to be stiffer, and then they had to do that, and then
right.
it just tumbles on down.
Yeah.
The RS was very fast, but it wasn't anything like as manic and fun as the Fiesta, and all of that comes from the fact that it's 2,600 pounds.
Yeah, they're super light.
Yeah,
I like that this is a car that you could daily drive too.
Oh yeah, can and should daily drive. It's great, and if you fold down the back seats, we fit a whole film crew worth of stuff, like 4 Pelicans, like multiple tripod cases back there. Like we would literally pile into the Fiesta ST as like our camera vehicle. It was awesome. I love it.
It only came with a manual, which is always a good recommendation for any car. If it only comes in a manual, you probably want it.
It's a good one. Yeah.
Good choice. Okay.
I love that. And now we're gonna look at a more obvious choice for the track day enthusiast. I had a C5 as well.
How about those rims?
Yeah.
You know, they're ugly, but they're HREs.
Oh, they're really HREs?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're actually,
Authentic?
believe it. Yeah, I think they're real HREs. Look at this. I Forged Wheels, which is actually it's a HRE knockoff, but it is a real company.
Okay.
A forged Ford Training Stecker K-Tech LS2 short block, AFR heads, which are the great heads, fast intake manifold, long tube headers. This thing is pretty rock and roll ready.
You had a Z06, didn't you, Matt?
I had a basic C5.
Oh, okay.
I had it modified to beyond what a Z06 would have been. I really liked taking the roof off. That to me was a great thing about a Corvette, was that you could drive with the roof off. So I wasn't that into the fixed roof cars, but these things with the right wheels, tires, brakes, and shocks, you're as fast as anything at a track day in one of these. I mean,
is that a coilover swap?
Let's see.
I mean, they did a ton of stuff.
Coilover, yeah.
Coilover, yeah.
Yeah, coilovers,
Yeah.
Hotchkiss sway bars.
This guy hates
aluminum
space bars.
radiator. Yeah, it's hard to read, but
Space bar's broken.
Wait.
You know, and it's 91,000 miles. Huh?
Wait, but
you want to see more?
It's price is a mechanic special. I was trying to read that bit. What is?
Well, here's what it says.
I'm not a mechanic.
Needs a few things to be assembled and needs to be tuned.
Sharon, you haven't learned this yet, but this is why we have road warriors. They finish the project for you.
Yeah. A track car needs $5,000 worth of something.
Our Corvette listings both only have one photo, Matt. I like
Yeah.
It's all sketchy.
There's
Corvettes apparently sell themselves.
Well, you know, there was my funniest favorite articles I've ever read was by Jack Baruth, who ended up buying my Corvette. So I sold my Corvette to him, and the article was called like the Corvettes that are never driven, bought, or sold, and it's like every C5 is like a mint baby wipe special, you know, low miles. Everyone knows what they have. Everyone thinks they're special.
They're so important.
Yeah, and they don't get driven, they don't get bought, and they don't get sold. They just do a lot of sitting.
They go to Cars and Coffee a lot.
Yeah.
And then you're like, why is this C5 here? Who cares?
Right. So this
C4s
one,
were in production for so long.
that's what, yeah. So when the C5 was new, I got mine was a 98, and I was the first owner. So when it was new, that thing was hot.
Oh,
It was,
good time.
I mean, a torch red C5 was the hotness in 98, and it was crazy fast. My friend had an M3, E36 M3, and my car would smoke that thing. It was like not even funny. And then a couple years later, it got boring, and I did an exhaust, a little tune, little wheels, little brakes, and all of a sudden, I had a state-of-the-art like thing again. For a while, it was able to keep up with really, really fast stuff that it shouldn't have. And Jack sold it because it was too fast. And his wife started collecting Miatas. Now his wife has like 3 Miatas. So anyway, track day, fun special, made of Legos, but goes very, very fast.
I think by 02, was it 405 horsepower or was it 385?
I mean, who cares? This one's got some crazy
that's
motor in
yeah.
it.
And you got to finish the tune.
This thing's probably 550, 600 NA horsepower with this setup. This thing goes. This is a fast car if you get someone to tune it, which is easy.
And put it back together.
Yeah, no,
Reassemble
yeah,
it.
but just a few things. It's just a few things. It's not everything. Okay, let's move on. Moving on, the wild card.
Uh-oh.
Here we go. Saleen S281 supercharged.
Is that a real Saleen for that?
Yes.
Okay, that's kind of awesome.
It has 136,000 miles. It is an S281E, and that E stands for exciting. And yeah, white on white with the black interior, lots of pictures. It's got the Cobra seats.
So I have a Mustang of that era, and those seats offered.
They're the worst. I had one of them.
That you
too.
sit on top of them, you do not sit in them.
Yeah. You throw the seats away, and you get good seats.
Yeah, and they're convex.
Here's the serial number. 27th car built in '97 by Saleen.
You're not going to lose your money on this.
It's pretty. Look, here's the blower. It's a Vortec. I believe it's a Vortec S-trim supercharger.
That thing is huge.
With an aftercool, but it's got an aftercooler on it. Look, it's got a proper setup. It's not just a janky rig. They put the aftercooler on this thing. And so, and it looks like the total Vortec rig. I
wonder if we tested one of these. I think we tested an S281 at some point.
Yeah, of course you did. These things were super hot back in the 90s. I wanted one of these so bad.
Cowl induction hood.
Yeah, this thing rules.
This is local? This is in LA, man?
No, this one is in Texas.
Okay.
But I think this thing is a set of seats away from being perfect. And a roll bar. You know, it probably needs some other things, but this thing absolutely rules.
This is a lot of testosterone.
I'm not sure you're aware of this, but you're the editor of a car magazine. Has anyone told you that?
I'm used to that, but this might just be a little much for me. I like it though.
These chassis are pretty noodly too.
Bro, so
but it is pretty cool.
2 words. Sub-frame connectors. That's it. That's all you need.
It's all fixed.
Maximum Motorsports. Yeah, if you sent this car to Maximum Motorsports and gave them just a few dollars, they would make this car handle absolutely incredibly. You could put an independent rear suspension in one of these from the '04 car. You can do all kinds of craziness.
You're $50,000 away from greatness.
Exactly. But you are so ready for Ice Ice Baby on repeat.
It looks pretty sweet. Yeah.
That's actually a pretty sweet find for 50.
That's a good radwood. It's perfect.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
Yeah, you could get a trophy with this.
You can get
if you had the Lightning towing this, you'd really have something special.
an all-white trailer with a white Lightning.
Oh, yes. I have a very vivid memory from my drag racing days at Englishtown when I had my Mustang, when a dude was towing his Cobra race car with his Lightning.
Yeah.
He broke the Cobra, unhitched the trailer, and ran the Lightning in the bracket drags. And we were all like, yeah! It was kind of fast. It was awesome.
That would have been amazing if he broke both of them.
Yeah. So there you go. There's some weird and the wacky, but the Fiesta ST is a practical choice.
It is. Are you from New Jersey?
I grew up in New York. Yeah, in Westchester County, New York.
I went to high school in Freehold, just a couple towns away from
Oh,
you.
yeah.
So,
There you go.
cool. All right. Those are all really good choices, too. It is Casey's turn, though. Casey, what have you
All
got?
right. Let me see. Let me share the right one. I'm a firm believer in no downforce, no power, low grip to learn car control and that kind of stuff. And if we were really being serious about this, I would say spend like $6,000 on on schools, on good instruction,
That's part
and then buy a spec Miata. But I know there was this whole like no Miata thing.
Miata's always the answer.
Yeah, this is really easy answer, but they're just ubiquitous. But I mean, you can get a fully prepped spec, and you can put a license plate on this and drive it to any track. But I got a '69 Formula Ford, which is just a beauty of a car. And there's no downforce. You can put all season tires on this and really learn car control. The thing comes with a bunch of spare parts, a trailer. It spent a lot of time at Road America. You could tow this
like all the safety protection of a flip flop.
You could tow this with your Volt. Here we'll run through some of the other photos.
And vintage, you could go racing with it too. Vintage Formula Ford is a race series.
It said guy ran a 236 at Road America.
Yeah, I'll go back. The spec page is the photo's the smallest, but this is the most.
925 pounds. Whoa.
Yeah. I don't think it has 1,600 horsepower. That's either an extra zero or it's either an extra zero or two extra zeros.
What if it's an extra one?
Yeah, if it's an extra one, then that's pretty good.
I think it's an extra 6.
It's got like this semi-documented history. It's documented as race-cars.com can get, and
I love that.
It comes with spares, but it's like it's gonna teach you car control, and you're gonna have to kind of baby the transmission because you definitely don't want to lurch any gears. Although it also probably has just a straight cut gearbox and no synchros. So then you'd have to learn how to double clutch, which is even more fun. But I was really on the hunt for one of the old Skip Barber cars, the cars that started out with neon engines and then ended up with, I think, Mazda engines, but the ones that they had with no wings. But I couldn't find any.
I crashed one of those in 2006 at Lime Rock.
There you go. Yeah.
I was personally responsible for killing one.
Did you buy it?
Huh?
Did you have to buy it? Or were you insured?
No, I had to write a check. Yeah, it was ultimately for half. Someone else was deemed responsible for the other. That was equally at fault. But yeah, I had to write a check. Yeah. So,
but I mean, those cars are great fun. And I've never driven a Formula Ford, but it's got to be close. And it's nice and slow on the straight, so it'll give you enough time to think about what's coming up and what you have to do.
Well, you're not going to go through tires and brakes either because it weighs 900 pounds.
Yeah. Oh, and I mean, and also this thing is, I mean, unless you completely yard sale the car, you're not going to lose any money on it. But I understand that formula cars. I mean, I don't love getting in formula cars just because I like my ankles where they are. So, you know, something a little more reasonable is an '09 RX-8 R3. Just another car that's not a ton of power, but stock. What's that?
All about the handling.
Yeah. And I mean, it's kind of. I mean, it's got 95,000 miles on it, so you got over $6,000 for Apex seals and just a gross of oil because it will consume oil
and fuel.
Yeah, and fuel, but they do like low octane. So don't put 87. Don't put high octane in Wangles. And it's it's a moderately clean car. And this is another one that
what kind of tires are on it?
That I did not see. Oh,
they're Michelin's.
Oh yeah.
I think it's an all season. It looks like an AS3.
AS3 plus maybe. Yeah.
Is that 95,000 miles on it?
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
That's pretty high.
Yeah, I mean, they fail for a long time.
It's also an 11-year-old car.
They fail slowly and casually.
Yeah.
And it's only $9,000. So
yeah.
It's way under budget.
Under budget.
Oh my God, the steering wheel cover.
Well, that's a steering wheel cover that can easily be removed.
Yeah, it makes me wonder what's underneath.
Tony's right. If the cover's that bad.
Look at that engine bay. It's covered by plastic.
So much plastic.
I can't see the engine.
I know. It's like kind of back. It's back about here.
Yeah, and they're tiny little dense beer kegs.
Oh yeah. But the monster scratches are probably removable. Probably.
Hopefully.
But yeah, I think that's a pretty practical.
You can put a plate on it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty practical choice to go to the track, and like any of the other light stuff, it's going to be pretty easy on tires and brakes, and it's also like I think these are 19s.
I think that had a forged wheel on it. I think the R3s had a forged
wheel. Yeah, forged wheel and BBS seat or a Recaro seats, and so the seat's going to do a good job of keeping you in place, because that's another reason why having like a dedicated track car is nice, so that you're not fighting the car to figure out what you need to do.
Yeah.
So, and it's got a back seat. So
we stick the dog back there while tracking.
Well, I'm not. Yeah, that's your choice. It's a personal choice. But yeah, I mean that's kind of the RX-8 is my practical thing. But I would love it if you bought that Formula Ford, because that would just be rad.
Yeah, it's definitely. I just I see a lot of death in that car for me.
There's not too much death.
Maybe a maim.
Yeah.
You don't hit anything.
Injuries. I see concussions.
Going that you're not going fast enough to really hurt yourself.
I'm a klutzy person. I can see things and I'm like, I should steer away from that right there. But
that's what the RX-8's for.
All right, cool. Well, let's move on to Eric.
All right.
Last one. What do we got, Eric?
I was not feeling great about my picks, but having seen everyone else's, I'm feeling a little confident. I'm getting a little cocky here. So Tony said Miatas were too obvious. I kind of agree. I did look at spec Miatas, but I went with the second most obvious choice for one of my picks here.
Oh, wow.
ERZ, rear wheel drive, a light car. I'm not a huge fan of the BRZ personally on road, but I feel like for this purpose, it's a great choice because it is something you can daily drive. You can fit a second set of wheels and tires in the car, drive it to the track, swap on your track tires, lap for 4 hours, switch back, drive home. This one has 42,000 miles. It's under our $15,000 price cap. Obviously, it's a manual, and I think those are aftermarket wheels which I don't love. But most importantly, they've already installed the tow hook so someone can pull you out of the tire wall.
Do those photos get larger?
If you go into the tire wall, you're not driving it home anyway. Formula Ford comes with a trailer. That's all. That's my last one.
It also has an aftermarket
Put an exhaust on it. Yeah.
to keep Tony away.
I would not like that.
He hates loud cars. But this one looks pretty nice for $15,000, and I think there's a lot of these out there at this price point. So, you know,
Are those BVSs?
I don't think so.
Yeah, they kind of. I couldn't get in close enough, but they kind of looked like they had an ink guy.
Oh, Enki.
Thank you. Yeah.
No,
it's a nice car. It's all right. That thing.
I think it's in the same class with your Fiesta ST.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
To drive every day and take to a track day and really use it. You know, this is rear wheel drive, which I think is kind of important for someone trying to really learn and master the track. You know, front wheel drive can be fun, but I think you reach a limit where you're not learning the full spectrum of car control at a certain point. So.
Hey, I'm sorry. Eric, you realize you're giving everybody your email address right now?
Where?
In the contact dealer.
Oh. And my phone number.
We'll have Brad block that out.
Maybe have Brad block that, but
Yeah, you can fix that in post. It'll make it. The more you move the page, though,
no,
the harder
change
it's gonna be.
change it all to Sharon's information, and then the last scene just click send.
Dang.
That's
Fiesta
fine.
STs are a lot more fun on the street than BRZs. BRZs are more fun on the track because you
Right.
got to drive them loose, and you're not driving loose on the street. It's a great car control car. You put those Prius tires back on it, and then you pump them up to like 48 psi, and you just go to anywhere, and you're learning car control.
Yeah, you're learning oversteer, power oversteer everything.
Yeah.
Plate racing.
Yeah, but you're not driving that on the street like that. So you
Yeah.
know, and it's got that power dip in the middle. So if you can stay above it, it's good.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. To your point, this car needs either more power or more torque or something to be fun on the streets.
Yeah.
But that's why I kind of like it in this use case where we're saying specifically we're going to be doing some track work with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a Rotary supercharger kit for that. It's about $5,000 or $6,000. That is like perfect. 290 at the tires, runs cool, linear power. It's like amazing. It really helps that car become something special.
Ooh.
My next pick, if you're willing to, if you're looking for more power instead of the supercharger kit, how about just going for factory power? This is the one that's just 20 miles away from us, Sharon. We can buy it this weekend. This is a 2008 135i. It has 67,000 miles.
Did BMW ever solve the fuel pump problem on these?
The aftermarket.
How many miles are on it?
67,000.
This
is
This
one
is a good
owner
one.
car, garaged in the winter, stored for the winter, supposedly in Michigan.
Is this the twin turbo or the single turbo?
Twin turbo, 300 horsepower, 6-speed manual,
Burlwood.
classic black and red. And
is just a nice car.
Yeah, it's a good
nice
one.
car.
for $11,000, this
Yeah.
is a really good, nice car. I did not know this little bit of history. This is a letter from Jack Pitney, VP of Marketing at BMW of North America. The owners, BMW was really pushing to kind of capture the 2002 aura with this car.
Yeah.
And so owners got this letter year one of the one. And they mentioned the 2002, and they put together a photo book and history book, which includes editorial content from David E. Davis Jr., among others. Little certificate here. There's the book. So this guy has,
Why didn't they build that? That's awesome. That looks great.
and there you go. That's the one problem with this car, is that it's a little dumpy looking, especially in profile.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on.
It's a bulldog of a car, though.
Funny you should mention that, Tony, because you wrote a counterpoint for this.
I have no memory of writing that.
What I can't get past is the 135i's ungainly bulldog-like styling. Smashed face, high roof, stubby rear end, huge doors. To my eyes, bulldogs aren't.
I stand by that. Totally.
But you pointed out here that the E36 M3, which was just about to be phased out as the 1 Series came out, was $36,000, did 0 to 60 in 5.6 seconds. This was about the same price and was a 4.7 second car.
No, that's a great car. You'd have a lot of fun on the track in that car.
I think the one problem with this, if this is something you're driving to the track, but you're also driving kind of daily use, is those things rode really stiff. And in Michigan, it's going to beat you up.
I think they cooked their oil too.
Yeah. Tony, do you know Alex Berman, the photographer?
No.
He's a local LA photographer. He shoots a lot of campaigns for Toyota and stuff. He did the entire Supra campaign. Nice dude. Has one of these 135i that he got for 12 grand. And it is, for not a lot on top of that, like a 550 horsepower monster, you know, that it's got a cage in it and a big wing and all this stuff. And it is crazy fast to the track. Like really, really like supercar fast at Willow Springs. So there's a lot of room to move up, you know, in performance if you start with one of those. That's a rad car for that kind of money, actually.
Yeah,
All right.
they're rare too. They're unique.
Now, my next choice, catering to Sharon's interest in off-roading. This is a Score Southern California off-road enthusiast legal UTV chassis. It's got a Yamaha 4-cylinder engine in it. And if you want to do some desert running for $8,500, this thing looks pretty fun.
It's not really track day, though.
No, but it's going to teach you a really important driving skill lesson, which is just keep your foot in it. Just stay committed. Stay committed, and you'll just go over everything. So, yes, I drifted, but you could take it. I mean, it's a different type of driving skill. You could work on it with this thing, and if you ever wanted to graduate to racing, you can race these things.
You could take the uphill S's at VIR just straight.
And it's a toy. I mean, your kids would be thrilled to ride shotgun in this.
I have considered something like this, ATV like.
And it's Michigan. You could probably get a plate for
$500. It's way under budget, Eric.
I
Need
know.
a pair of them.
But it's also not really a real car.
I wanted something closer to the rock bouncing stuff. Obviously, real rock bouncers are $30,000-$40,000, but there's a UTV class in, you know, the National Rock Racing Association, and I couldn't find anything that was built specifically for that. But
what power is it?
This is a Yamaha snowmobile engine. It's a 4-cylinder, 4-stroke. I don't know what the power output is. 16 inches of travel.
It's got 911 turbo outer CV.
CV, yeah.
Something to note, in the description it says, I'm selling for something with a heater.
Right.
So you may want to consider these things in your choices.
Well, this guy's in Montana. So, I mean, the season for using something without a windshield and without windows in Montana has to be, what, 2 months?
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
Deserts are cold at night.
All right.
All right.
That's what I have for you, Sharon.
Yeah. That one feels a little off, I gotta say. That's sort of more like
I thought that was it was a curveball, but I thought it was kind of right up your alley.
I do.
You know, what things that you're into.
Yeah, no, I do like off-roading for sure. Let's move into the verdict section now. All right, so like let's do what we usually do. I think I have a favorite of this pile, or a couple of favorites, but let's just go through, like, everybody put up like your favorite one, and we'll do the thumbs up, thumbs down, and then I'll tell you the couple that I liked at the end. So Tony,
I'm putting forth my E36 M3. It's got a cage. It's ready to go to the track. It's under budget.
I like that one.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Yeah. Yeah, I like that one. That was a good place to start. That was a good one. All right, Matt, What of yours?
The Fiesta ST.
All right.
I will put up since it is the most.
It's practical. It's fun.
Yeah, I think you get a lot of reliable fun for your dollar, and up to a certain level of expertise, it is all the car you ever need. And even beyond that, it's still really fun if the track or the road is tight.
Okay. Casey, what's yours?
Formula Ford all the way. It's the only one that, because you will inevitably go off and hit a tire wall, and you'll still be able to get home.
In the Formula Ford?
Yeah.
In whatever
You guys got a trailer at there.
in your
Comes
pickup
with a
truck.
trailer. Yeah.
Assuming
You
you're
can use the Lightning to get it home.
Yeah, I don't know. That one's I think just a step too far for me. Tony,
It's
I'm
really
with you,
cool.
though.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's
too much for Sharon at this stage in the game. I think.
It's only 160 horsepower.
It's
Or
intimidating.
1600.
It could be 1600. Somewhere between 0 and 1600.
The Hennessy Formula Ford.
It'd be stretched like the Phantom. It'd be even longer.
All right, so Eric, what are you gonna put up? What's your choice?
I'm going with my BMW 135i. Gonna be a lot of fun on the road and on the track.
Yeah. Solid.
Ooh,
Oh,
see.
I have a BMW of that era, and the twin turbo engine really, really frightens me. I mean, there's a reason why they abandoned it after like 2 years.
All right.
All right.
enough.
I have to say, I think the Fiesta ST is really sticking out. I think I'm liking that. I mean,
Wow.
the E36. I mean, that would be like if I had space to just kind of stick a car and like just track it. I would totally. I think that is definitely an option. But the Fiesta ST and I would say the BMW, the 1 Series BMW, like that. The two of those are kind of.
Yeah.
But front wheel drive on the track, you will get so bored with it after. Like it's like buying your first motorcycle, and you buy like a 600 and you're bored with it after a month,
Well,
and then you got to go back and get 1,000cc, rocket.
Is that right?
That's my thought is.
Yeah, that happens a lot to people. I just don't like going that fast on bikes, so I'm fine with the little things.
Me too.
Well, kind of my thought on this is that this is just something that's, I'll stick with for a little bit and then move up.
I will say to the Fiesta ST or the 1 Series, you can do a lot to hone your driving on public roads without even like pushing the limits of a car, driving within safe speeds and like positioning your car within a lane and kind of following a racing line through a curve.
Right.
Staying solely in your lane teaches you a lot about the line through a corner and very precise car control placement within, inches or 1 foot of where you want to be.
Right.
So something like a Fiesta ST is a great way to just be wrapped up in it every day.
Just don't practice that on roads I drive on.
All right. Coming to your neighborhood first.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much. This was a lot of fun. I've got a lot to look at here, and no guarantees I'm getting anything soon, but this will be fun. At least my shopping list it's expanded, but it's also narrowed down. I feel like I've got a better idea of what to look for here. So thank you, guys. All right. It was really fun. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Yeah.